IHSA playoff lacrosse game. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Dylan Traeger, joined by color commentator Ian Van Every. Ian, what are you expecting in this matchup between Deerfield High School and DePaul College Prep?
I'm just expecting a lot of hard play, a lot of hustle plays. Basically, it's going to come down to speed and whoever wants it most.
You know, looking at the two teams, Deerfield 10-8, DePaul College Prep 10-7. I expect a very close matchup. Both teams have some great players, and we'll get right into the action right here, as here is the face-off, and that's going to be DePaul College Prep winning the face-off here. DePaul College Prep 10-7 on the season, undefeated in conference at 4-0. Deerfield, on the other hand, 10-8 overall, 2-5 in conference. Ian, any players on Deerfield that we should be looking out for?
I think you're definitely going to look out for Ben Spritz and probably Zach Margulis as well. Both of those guys are really going to play hard. We've seen them play hard in previous games.
As here we have a 48 minutes of varsity playoff lacrosse coming up, and it's Deerfield taking over the ball. For Deerfield, it's Logan Flater with the ball, giving it all the way down to Noah Losoff. Losov's going to turn it over, and that's going to be DePaul College Prep fumbling the ball and taking it over, and they're going to throw it out of bounds. Deerfield taking over possession, 11:10 on the clock. First quarter of play, 49 degrees in sunny Deerfield, Illinois. Actually, not a cloud in the sky.
No, it looks beautiful right now. But, I mean, I said that yesterday about baseball, and then temperature dropped, and wind picked up, and that was a little brutal.
Here's DePaul College Prep with the ball. It's Tommy White, who gives off to Jane Hunter. Ian, where is DePaul College Prep located out of?
I think they're actually located. Are they located near DePaul?
I'm not sure.
Like the actual, they might be. Yeah, they're located in the city. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So pretty close. So, I mean, how far? Probably like 45, half-hour, minute drive, depending on the traffic for them. So,
right.
Don't think
what's their what's their mascot?
Are they the Demons?
Well, that's the real DePaul
sure.
is. I don't know about DePaul College Prep. We'll call him DePaul. As there's a shot on goal, and that is no good. The shooter for DePaul is Johnny Aronson. That's going to be DePaul College Prep's first shot on goal. And we are at the 9:45 mark in the game. It's Hunter Jane with the ball as he's going to turn it over for Deerfield. It's Ty Galasinski taking over the ball as he's running all the way down the field himself. Not a lot of defenders around as he's going to try and go all the way. He kicks it off to Deerfield teammate Sam Cohen, who puts up a shot, and that's going to go way out of bounds.
And I just checked, they are actually the Rams, the DePaul College Prep Rams.
DePaul Rams, okay.
So, Rams versus Warriors today. Let's see who wins on the battlefield.
Or the football field turf, but yes.
I'm going to call it the battlefield. It's gonna be a battle today.
So do we know who, if either team advances, where's the game played? Who do they play? Any knowledge on that?
Well, this is the sectional quarterfinals, so
so they go to the semifinal then.
Yes,
for sectionals. Okay.
I don't think we would be sure where it would be yet. It would depend on who we play.
Okay.
Because a higher seed hosts. So.
I know Deerfield's an 8 seed. Do we know what DePaul is for seeding?
They are a 9 seed.
9 seed. Okay.
9 seed. So it's like March Madness, 8 versus 9.
Got it.
64-team tournament.
Is there any odds of Deerfield hosting the next round if they end up winning today?
Yes. There would have to be an upset, but it's highly unlikely, as it would have to be a 16 seed beating a 1 seed, as they say.
As here's Johnny Aronson with the ball. He puts up a shot on goal, and that is thrown way out of bounds. That is the Rams' second shot attempt of the game. Deerfield 0, DePaul 0, 8:22 on the clock. That shot on goal is brought to you by IHSA sponsor Gatorade. As there's another shot on goal that comes from Matthew Lazari, as that is also out of bounds. So something I am noticing is clock is stopping when ball goes back by the net back there.
Yes.
As there's another shot on goal from Andrew King, and that is going to be a flag on DePaul.
A flag on the field. So, and yes, there might be some different postseason clock rules for today. Of course, we got professional Miss O'Leary is on the clock today. We got Jet Klopfer on your cameraman for the stream. Sam Schwartz, the public address announcer. Andrea Hines doing the video board here at Deerfield High School. And, of course, Robert Crable with some field spotting. So, again, a huge thanks to Deerfield Sports Information, DSI, Nate Flannery, Molly Tomlinson for helping us put on this game today.
As there's a shot on goal from DePaul's Johnny Aronson. That is DePaul's 15th shot attempt of the game.
And there's going to be a timeout on Deerfield.
Correction, 5th. Timeout, Deerfield, call a timeout, 7:49. Ian, I know it's a bit early, but what have you noticed from the game so far?
I mean, I've known a lot of, there has been some shots taken, but good defense. There's been a lot of good defense so far. So let's see how much longer they can hold on and try to break through.
There you have it. We're back after the timeout break. 7:49 on the clock. Deerfield, DePaul. DePaul with the ball. For DePaul, it's Ian Ellis as he puts up a shot on goal, and that's going to go in. Ian Ellis breaking the shutout in the game as he finally puts a point on the board. DePaul takes the lead at 1-0, time of goal, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Ian, not to confuse you with shooter Ian Ellis. How do you, how if you're Deerfield, what are you doing right here to tie up the game?
Well, first, I always say it in almost every broadcast, short memory, short-term memory loss. You want to forget about that one. Just kind of rebound, get back out there. You got to remember, still 2 minutes, 4 seconds in the first quarter is a lot of time. It's just one goal, and then bounce back.
A little more information on Ian Ellis. Number 2, he is a senior. His last ride right here, he plays attack and midfield. As we're at the 2-minute warning in the first quarter of play, DePaul 1, Deerfield 0. Each team has 1 timeout left. Ellis's goal was DePaul's 11th shot attempt of the game. It's Ellis with the ball once again for DePaul. He gives off to Hunter Jane. As Hunter Jane's going to turn it over, Deerfield's going to take possession here for Deerfield. That's going to be none other than Logan Flater. As there's Brady Mills turning it over for Deerfield. Oh, and there's a lost stick for Deerfield also. It's Ian Ellis with the ball. As he's running straight towards the goal, Ian Ellis puts up a shot on goal, and it's in. Ian Ellis, you could put it on the board. That's his second goal in under 2 minutes as he's extending DePaul's lead to 2-0. Time of goal is 1:03. And Ian Ellis is really looking like a strong player out there today as that's his second goal in under 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, he's cooking out there. He's getting, he's really running down the field. He's getting hard shots. One more, that's a hat trick for him.
It's becoming a little hard for me to keep you, Ian, and the Ian on the field separate. We got double Ians.
Yep.
Double
that
trouble.
goal is brought to you by VIP Photography, sponsor of IHSA Lacrosse.
As here is the face-off. Deerfield's face-off specialist is William Holtz. He plays mid, and he's a senior. Here's your 1-minute warning. And it's DePaul winning the face-off. For DePaul with the ball right now is Maximilian Kajin. As there is a whistle blown, clock will remain running. 40 seconds first quarter. As here is Deerfield with the ball. For Deerfield, it's Ty Galasinski, the captain. Clock still running at 20 seconds. Here's Deerfield making 2 substitutions, one of them being Ben Spritz, Deerfield's captain. Correction, Sam Shapiro. As here's 10 seconds on the clock, and it's DePaul taking over possession. They're going to try and make a last-second play, as nothing will happen. Time is going to expire. At the end of the first quarter, the score, DePaul 2 with the lead, Deerfield 0. And we'll be back after the quarter switch. As we are back from the end of the first quarter, he's Ian Van Every. I'm Dylan Traeger. DePaul 2, Deerfield 0, as here is the face-off. So I already talked about Deerfield's face-off specialist, but taking a look at DePaul's face-off specialist, it's James Kaminsky.
Yeah, we had a false start there for on DePaul, so Deerfield got the possession on that one.
Yep, and there's Brandon Barber, senior, helping out of the game. So, Ian, if either team loses here, is it the end of their season, or what happens for their future?
I believe it is the end of their
Okay, so this is win or go home.
Yeah, this is win or go home. It's, one-game playoff. Single elimination, as some might say.
So the pressure is definitely on for all of them.
The pressure's on, pressure's rolling.
And it is a pretty packed house, despite the cold night here at Paul Adams Field.
Yeah, you got some. It is chilly out. I do see some winter coats, winter hats, gloves. Even when it's, I think it's about 50 some degrees out there.
Lower.
Or maybe a little bit lower, maybe
high
in the 40s.
It is cold out. Speaking of the 40s, it's Evan Yablin with the ball for Deerfield, number 42, as he gives off to Ben Spritz.
Nice and toasty up here in the box, though, which is good.
That's why they do it up here. There's Evan Yablin.
That one's
shot
gonna
attempt
sail
for
out of
Deerfield.
bounds, so.
Right out of bounds. That's Deerfield's second shot attempt today, going up against DePaul's 11. And, that's why Deerfield isn't getting any points or goals up here, because they're not putting any shots up.
It's all dependent on the shots. You really need the shots, and they're not
if I'm Coach Allen here for Deerfield, I'm trying to find a way for my offense to put more shots up, because I could tell you're not going to put any goals in if you're not putting any shots up. And that's a proven fact. See, we have 10:40 on the clock, second quarter of play, and that ball is going to sail out of bounds. That ball is from Sam Cohen, intended to target Aaron Annisfeld. 7:36 p.m., Deerfield, Illinois. Paul Adams Field, 10:30 on the clock, second quarter of play. That score update is brought to you by Country Financial, a proud sponsor of IHSA Athletics. As there's a shot on goal from DePaul, that is no good. That's a shot from Daniel Dace, as that ball's going to bounce right before the net and pop right over. That is DePaul's 12th shot attempt of the game. Here's DePaul with the ball. It's Andrew King for DePaul. See some good ball movement. He gives off to Hunter Jane. Hunter Jane moving in, puts up a shot on goal, and that is no good. That's going to sail out of bounds. That's DePaul's 13th shot attempt. 10 minutes on the clock in the second quarter. And this game is flying by. Ian, if you're DePaul right here, what's their best strategy to keep going?
Obviously you want to keep – they've had the majority of the shots so far. So not only do you want to keep the possession mostly on your side, you want to keep pushing, keep those shots on that goal, eliminate the amount of shots that Deerfield's taken. It's going to be about defense here. DePaul's got the lead.
No, I definitely agree. And DePaul's coach is doing a great job making sure their offense is putting up shots on goal. As there's the ball rolling, and the clock is still stopped, and there's two people trying to break into the press box.
Yeah, they'll be all right. I'll
No, just sit down. So here's 9:50 on the clock as DePaul is still up 2-0. It's DePaul with possession. For DePaul, it's Thomas Perkins getting in a fight, a little tussle, and he's going to lose the ball to Deerfield. Oh. And they're going to call that DePaul ball. I thought that was definitely a flag there on the roughhousing, definitely on the unnecessary roughness from DePaul. Two guys definitely just completely shoving and boxing out Deerfield. I'm not sure if I agree with that call from the referee there. Anyway, going forward, it's Ian Ellis with the ball.
I think they eventually just called on that out of bounds because they shoved them right out. So
yeah, that's definitely possible too.
I think they saw it as just a little bit roughhousing, just a little bit, extension of the arms. So I don't know. We'll see.
As here's Johnny Aronson with the ball.
The guys in stripes were on the show.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Could also say the guys in the box from the show.
We could.
As there's a shot on goal, and that is in for DePaul Prep. That's going to be Hunter Jane scoring his first goal of the game. Time of the shot is 9:02. Hunter Jane extends DePaul's lead to 3-0. Once again, time of goal is 9:02. As that goal is brought to you by VIP Photography, a proud sponsor of IHSA Athletics. As that's going to give DePaul a very comfortable lead here. Going into halftime, 9 minutes till half, they're up 3-0, and this is a conference. This is a playoff game, so definitely going to need to see something different from Deerfield. Put some more shots up. I mean, they've got officially 0 shots on goal according to the board, but
yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Deerfield's just got to get the first. They just got to get the ball in the other zone here.
And
They
as
need
you
to
said,
get some pressure.
this is a win or go home game, so definitely would like to see a little more hustle out of Deerfield as well. As here's Brandon Barber with the ball for Deerfield. Looks like he's going to sub out of the game along with 3 other players. One of them being Trevor Gross, along with a player for DePaul. It's Ben Spritz with the ball for Deerfield. He's going to give it off to Sam Shapiro. Here's Shapiro with the ball at the 30. He's being guarded tightly. He gives off to Spritz, and that ball is turned over on the intended pass to Spritz. DePaul is going to take over 8:30 on the clock in the second quarter. And there's Ben Spritz being dropped to the ground.
I think that was an interesting move there to he's kind of trying to get the ball down the other end of the field, but, I mean, there was really no one there. So, I mean, you might want to pitch it the other way when you had 2 of your own teammates at the back. And, I mean, also for the seniors especially, if it's got to be in their mind, this could be your last game. So we're going to see how hard they play.
I mean, that's right. That's the mindset. You never know which game's going to be your last. Got to shine in both victory and defeat. As here at 7:45, second quarter, once again, DePaul has a comfortable lead, sitting at 3-0.
I mean, as they say, treat every game as it's your last.
Yep. As I say.
Play the best, play the hardest.
That is right. That is definitely right. As here's Deerfield, the balls. We're at the 7:30 mark. For Deerfield, that's Ben Spritz with the ball. Ben Spritz pass off to Aaron Ainsfield, the freshman. As Aaron Ainsfield's going up to Evan Yoblin, another freshman. Something about Deerfield is this team is led by youth movement. They've got a great youth program, the DYLC, that just really raises great athletes for the lacrosse program for Deerfield. As here's Ben Spritz behind the goal. He's going to try and end the shutout for Deerfield, hopefully. As he's going to get off to Sam Cohen. Here's Sam Cohen with the ball at the 30. Sam Cohen juking around, puts up a shot on goal. And that's going to go way out of bounds. That's Deerfield's 3rd shot attempt. It won't go down as a shot on goal. Deerfield will retain possession for Deerfield. None other than Sam Cohen once again with the ball at the 20. 6:30 on the clock. As Deerfield's going to turn over the ball, and it's going to be DePaul taking over. The carrier for DePaul is Dane Barkley. 6:15 on the clock in the second quarter. DePaul 3, Deerfield 0. Deerfield taking up possession here. It's Aaron Anisfeld with the ball for Deerfield. He's jogging around, taking his time. Minute by minute, he's going to roll a slow grounder over to Sam Shapiro, who's going to just enter the game for Deerfield. Sam Shapiro at 30. 5:45 in the second quarter of play. Sam Shapiro over to Ben Spritz. Ben Spritz at the 20. Ben Spritz going to throw it behind the net to Logan Flater. As that ball is put up on shot attempt, that's going to roll out of play. DePaul's going to take over possession. That's Deerfield's 4th shot attempt. 5:30 on the clock. DePaul 3, Deerfield 0. Here's DePaul with the ball. For DePaul, it's Dane Barkley running all the way down. He puts up a shot attempt, and that's just going to miss. Ethan Levine's legs saving it on that one, as that is DePaul's 14th shot attempt of the game. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter of play. That is going to count as a shot on goal, as here's DePaul taking over possession. A little bit of a scramble here. Deerfield trying to keep up with it, as there's 5 guys going after the ball. 2 guys on the ground, still rolling around. And this is a battle for the defensive part, too.
It's been a physical game so far.
It
These
definitely
refs are
has.
just trying to let them play, I think.
As there's Deerfield's player run right to the ground, as DePaul's going to take right back over. 4:30 on the clock. And there's Deerfield knocking it down. Some great defensive movement from Deerfield. Deerfield's going to take over possession. That was Ty Galasinski with the ball, and he's going to return it right back to DePaul as they're going to intercept it. For DePaul, it's Matthew Lazari with the ball. 4 minutes on the clock. Second quarter of play here.
Matthew Lazari, if you notice, he's actually got one sock. One sock out there today. Just on his right leg's got that high sock, and the other one's...
As there's a shot on goal from Andrew King, and that's not going to fall. That's DePaul's 15th shot attempt. And that's a pretty interesting fun fact for you about
yeah, fun fact.
Andrew King. All right, now I'm starting to see it. I see a lot of guys have that kind of.
Yeah, a lot of guys.
One high sock and
rocking
maybe
that.
no other sock. Or just low sock. I'm not sure what the style with that is. I'm a little off the grid here.
Yep.
As here we're at 3:30 on the clock in the second quarter play. And that is a timeout called for Deerfield. Deerfield's first timeout used. Current score update is DePaul 3 on Deerfield 0. 3:25 on the clock. We're back after the timeout break on Deerfield's timeout. As we are back from Deerfield's second timeout used in the first half of play, he's Zane Van Every. I'm Dylan Traeger. 3:25 on the clock as the clock is stopped.
As that timeout was brought to you by Country Financial, official financial sponsor of IHSA.
That is correct. Clock is still stopped. Looks like a few subs are being made for the Rams of DePaul College Prep. Clock is still stopped. There's another sub. Almost like you should give him a penalty for delay of game. What do you think?
You know, you never know. That not as prominent.
Toss in a pitch clock in this. Make it a little quicker. As
Pitch clock.
Here's Deerfield's Aaron Annisfeld putting up a huge fight for the ball. DePaul College Prep is going to be successful taking the ball away. As here's a fast break coming from DePaul College Prep's Dan Trey. He puts up a shot on goal. And that's way over. It's going to go down as a shot attempt. DePaul's 16th shot attempt of the game. 3:04 on the clock in the second quarter of play here. Three minutes ago in the second quarter of play, as it's Deerfield's Brandon Barber with possession. As here, Brandon Barber is going to sub out, and coming in for Brandon Barber is none other than Jake Brodsky, attack junior. And right away, Riley Schwab is going to pass it to Jake Brodsky, looking to let him rip it down into the net. Here's Jake Brodsky giving off to Aaron Anisfeld. Anisfeld to Ben Sprintz, who's just probably the fastest guy on this field. I mean, this kid is running all over. He's all wheels. Here's Ben Sprintz with the ball. He puts up a shot attempt, and that is no good off the goalpost. As DePaul is going to pull away with the ball. That's Deerfield's 5th shot attempt of the game. 2-minute warning on the field. As here's DePaul with the ball. That rhymes. There's Peter Hordeslows with the ball. He puts up a shot attempt, and that is blocked by Ethan Levine. 1:45 to go in the second quarter of play. That's going to go down as DePaul's 17th shot on goal. For Deerfield, it's Logan Flater with the ball, who's on defense running all the way down, as he's going to throw the ball way out of bounds. His intended target was Ben Spritz. DePaul's going to take over possession with the stop clock. 1:30 to go in the second quarter of play. Deerfield, 0. DePaul, 3. Clock is running at 1:20 for DePaul. It's Dean Lane with the ball. Here's Dean Lane. He's going to throw it down to Andrew King, and there's a whistle blown. Clock's going to stop. And that's going to be DePaul's second timeout used. Call the timeout 1:14. We'll be back after the timeout break. And I'll be doing just fine. Got it. So we're back from timeout break. DePaul with a commanding lead, 3-0. 1:14 to go in the second quarter play. It's going to be DePaul with the ball coming back from the timeout break. For DePaul, none other than Hunter Jane, who is the owner of one goal in this IHSA sectional playoff game. It's DePaul losing the ball for a second. We're at the 1-minute warning. As there's Sam Schwartz, the PA announcer, with the call right there. For DePaul, it's Thomas Perkins with the ball, giving off to Matthew Lazari. Lazari's been a huge force for this DePaul team all day. Shows a lot of hustle out there. As here's Deerfield taking the ball away, at least trying to. Looks like they might be outnumbered. Nope, it's going to be Deerfield taking away at 30 seconds to go for Deerfield. It's none other than captain Ty Galasinski with the ball. He's running down, looking to make a last-minute play. He gives off to Ben Spritz. Ben Spritz with the ball. 25 seconds of play left. Deerfield making a few subs here.
And that was a nice little fancy spin pass by Ty Galasinski a couple moments ago.
As here's Riley Schwab giving the ball back to Ben Spritz. 10 seconds on the clock. Ben Spritz running to the goal. He's got the ball. He's going to lose it, and that's going to roll out of bounds. They're going to give possession to DePaul with 6 seconds on the clock, and that is just killer for this Deerfield team as they look to cover back from their 3-0 deficit. And DePaul is going to run the clock out at the end of the first half. And the second quarter, it's DePaul with a commanding lead of 3-0. Ian, looking forward to the second half, what do you expect to see differently? What do you expect to see the same for both teams?
I mean, I would expect a little bit more. You know, Deerfield's going to have to make some major adjustments, especially because DePaul is very physical. And they've been getting battled, and they're trying to hard-nosed, grit their teeth and get everything out. But Deerfield's just not able to keep up, so Deerfield's got to get that second burst of emotion.
No, I completely agree. And as Deerfield goes into this huddle, I'm thinking if I'm Coach Allen, I'm telling this team, put more shots up on goal. You know, even if they're gonna be not great shots, put the shots up because you've only put up 2 shots on goal on 5 shot attempts. I mean, that's just terrible for a playoff lacrosse game. Anyways, that's my take. That's Ian's take. We're back in 10 minutes after halftime. The second half of IHSA sectional playoff lacrosse is underway. DePaul 3, Deerfield 0. He's Ian Benevry. I'm Dylan Traeger. Welcome back to the broadcast.
Yeah.
As it's Deerfield winning the faceoff, they will have possession here. For Deerfield, it's Logan Flater with the ball. And the whistle that's been getting called all day is back. Already a timeout. Call the timeout is 11:39. We'll be back after this timeout break. As we are back in timeout break, DePaul 3, Deerfield 0, 11:39 on the clock. Ian, what do you think's going on with Deerfield? Why did they call timeout 20 seconds in?
I'm not entirely sure. That was a little freak timeout. I don't really know what he was thinking there. I mean, 8 seconds in, maybe something wasn't right off the page a little bit, but
Maybe giving the guys a little more breather after the 10 minutes already had?
I don't know.
I'm not really
Definitely
sure.
not. I don't think it was.
Well, now they've only got one timeout left for
One
the second
timeout
half of play.
remaining. Wow.
As
gonna be
here's
tough.
DePaul prep with the ball, as that timeout is brought to you by GoFan. GoFan.
Go fan.
GoFan.
Go fan.
11 minutes ago, third quarter of play, as it's DePaul with the ball. As it's getting dark out, it is getting hard to see these numbers. The lights are on Adams, but it's getting a little tough here as into the distance. These players' numbers are fading. .10:30 in the third quarter of play, as here are several substitutions going in and out for Deerfield, one of which is Chase Ponticas leaving the game for Deerfield. .10:15 on the clock. It's Deerfield with possession. For Deerfield, it's Bench Britz with the ball at your 10 minutes on the clock. Here's Bench Britz with the ball as he's just running all over the place here. He's going to pass it off to Sam Shapiro. Sam Shapiro over to Brandon. Here's Bench Britz with the ball. 9:38 on the clock. DePaul up 3-0. Here's Deerfield with the ball at the 9:15 mark. Losing track of some of the guys as there's so many guys running around here for Deerfield. That's Jake Brodsky putting up a shot attempt, and that's no good. That's going to be Deerfield's 6th shot attempt of the game. 9 minutes on the clock. Clock is running as it's DePaul prep with the ball here. As there's a couple subs being made for DePaul, one of which being Jane Hunter coming into the game. Jane's got 1 goal today. As there's 8:20 on the clock, it's DePaul with the ball. As Deerfield's going to take over it here. For Deerfield, it's going to be Jake Brodsky. Correction, Noah Losoff. Eight minutes on the clock in the third quarter of play. As it's been a really quiet game here for these first 4 minutes of the third quarter. Ian, what do you think here? All right, 7:40, third quarter of play. It's DePaul with the ball. For DePaul, it's Jane Hunter. Correction, Hunter Jane. As they're going to turn it over, and Deerfield's going to take possession here. For Deerfield, it's Logan Flater with the ball. Correction, Brady Mills with the ball. 7:15 on the clock. As Brady's going to turn it over at the 7-minute mark. DePaul is going to take over possession here, looking to add a little bit of insurance onto the 3 goals they already have. For DePaul with the ball is Connor Bearfield, as he's just standing around as DePaul's going to make a sub. Coming in for DePaul is Charlie Herman, the junior attack. There's a shot attempt from DePaul, and that's going to be no good. That's going to go down as their 18th shot attempt of the game. Clock is stopped at 6:37. As there is a Deerfield goal, ending their shutout for the game. Time of the goal is 6:11, and that's going to put Deerfield's deficit from 3-0 to 3-1. Brandon Barber, the scorer for Deerfield. Brandon Barber plays mid and attack for Deerfield. He's a senior. Time of the goal, once again, is 6:11. As that really puts Deerfield back in the game slightly. You know, coming back from 3 goals is a lot, but 2 is a lot more manageable here, as that goal is brought to you by IHSA sponsor Gatorade. But that certainly is a big help. If only Deerfield can put up more shots on goal, I think they'll have some more success here. That's going down as their 3rd shot on goal on 7 shot attempts. And there is a technical foul on Deerfield's William Holtz. He will be taken out for penalty for 30 seconds. His release will be at 5:31. It's DePaul College Prep with the ball right now at the 5:45 mark. 10 more seconds until Holtz is back in the game. As there's DePaul turning it over, it's Deerfield taking over possession. For Deerfield, it's Ty Galasinski running in hard. There's Sam Cohen putting up a shot, and that's not going to go in. That's going to go down as Deerfield's 8th shot attempt as William Holtz is released from the penalty. 5:15 on the clock in the third quarter of play here for Deerfield and DePaul. DePaul up 3-1. As here's Deerfield with the ball, and there's a flag thrown up. 5 minutes on the clock. It's Bench Brits with the ball. He puts up a shot on goal, and that's going to go way out of bounds. That's Deerfield's 9th shot attempt. And there is a flag on the play. Clock will stop at 5 minutes.
I think Ian just doesn't want you to put him on the spot.
Is here at the 4:40 mark. It's DePaul with the ball at 4:30. For DePaul, it's Daniel Dace with the ball. There's a shot on goal, and that's going to be saved by Deerfield. That's DePaul's 19th shot attempt. 4:10 on the clock here. As for DePaul, here is Barkley. Dane Barkley being released from the penalty box at the 4-minute mark. Here's DePaul with the ball, and that's going to be stopped by Deerfield goalie Ethan Levine. It's Ethan Levine holding the ball and slowly jogging out of the goalie box. Here's one of the DePaul defenders coming in. Ethan Levine's going to throw a Hail Mary down the field to Logan Flater, who's running in. He puts up a shot attempt, and that is no good. That's going to go down as Deerfield's 10th shot attempt of the game. Logan Flater hustling back to the defensive side where he stays. 3:30 in the third quarter here. As it is Deerfield with possession here. As here's Deerfield with the ball, and that ball's going to go right towards the net and barely skimp it. That's going to be Deerfield's 11th shot attempt. 3 minutes on the clock. It's a wide net for DePaul. As here are the Rams. It's Dan Trey with the ball. Dan Trey, the ball carrier, running around. He's going to give it off to Johnny Aronson. Aronson going to fall on his back with a nasty fall, and there it is. 2 yellow flags, one from each ref are thrown down. 2:40 on the clock in the third quarter. For Deerfield, one thing I see is Chase Ponticus running out. And I also see Riley Schwab coming out for Deerfield. For Deerfield, I also see Trevor Gross coming back in the game. And in addition to Trevor Gross, I see Ethan Helfand. Penalty is going to be on Ty Galasinski, his second of the game for holding. He will be held out for 30 seconds. He'll be released at 2:10. And we got 2:35 on the clock. Galasinski's got 20 more seconds in the penalty box. As here's DePaul College Prep with the ball. It's Hunter Jane, who's been all over the place, crashing all over. As there's a shot attempt from Johnny Aronson, and that's going to miss widely. That's DePaul's 20th shot attempt of the game. Taking a look at the scoreboard, DePaul 3, Deerfield 1, 2:15 on the clock. Galasinski being released in 3 seconds. Deerfield has 1 timeout left. On DePaul's 2 timeouts left. Deerfield 4 shots on goal. On DePaul's 10 shots on goal. As here's Galasinski released from the penalty. 2:05 on the clock. Third quarter of play. It's DePaul with the ball. Here we are at the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning in the third quarter play. That warning is brought to you by Wilson Sporting Goods, a proud sponsor of IHSA Athletics. As now it's Hunter Jane with the ball. He's going to pass it off to Ian Ellis, who's got 2 of the goals today. .135 to go, and there's a shot attempt from Liam Scanlan. That's going to go way over the net. That's DePaul's 21st shot attempt, and we're at the 1:30 mark. 1:30 in the third quarter. His clock is stopped. Now it's going to go run. For DePaul, it's Andrew King with the ball. There's a shot attempt, and it's in for DePaul's Matthew Lazari. Puts it in. His first goal of the game. Time of goals 1:24, and he's going to extend the Rams' lead to 4-1. And that is a huge goal for DePaul, as while you're only up 3-1 in the third quarter. Very big to put some insurance on the board, and Matthew Lazari definitely going to seal it up a little bit more tightly for DePaul. For the Rams, for the goals today, looking a little recap so far, Ian Ellis has a pair of goals with 2. Hunter Jane has a goal, and Matthew Lazari also has a goal. And taking a look at Matthew Lazari, where's number 3? He is a junior playing attack. Here is the face-off for Deerfield. It's William Holtz putting in a huge fight, and it's going to be DePaul taking away with it for DePaul. It's Peter Hortatzos, the sophomore midfield, as we're at 1:10 in the third quarter of play. DePaul up with a commanding more so lead at 4-1. One-minute warning in the third quarter of play. 1-minute warning. Here's DePaul with the ball. For DePaul, it's Johnny Aronson popping it up. It's going to be Ethan Levine stopping the play. He's going to throw one downfield. That's going to Ty Galasinski, who's going to miss it. He's going to run to catch it. 42 seconds on the clock. As there's a few subs being made, I see coming out for Deerfield is Logan Flater. Clock is stopped. Clock is stopped at 42.3 seconds here. As there's the whistle from the ref, clock will run now. Here's Deerfield with the ball for Deerfield's Trevor Gross. There's a shot on goal, and that is in for Deerfield. It's Sam Shapiro putting it in for Deerfield. Time of goal is 33.7 seconds. Sam Shapiro making an instant impact after being put into the game. And that's going to cut Deerfield's deficit from 3-1. DePaul still has the lead at 4-2. That goal is brought to you by IHSA proud sponsor, GoFan. As here is the face-off. Very tough here. It's going to be a big scramble. 3-on-3 as they're going to call whistle. As there's the announcement for Sam Shapiro as we are at a running clock at 25 seconds. It's DePaul grabbing the ball. For DePaul, it's Matthew Lazari. He's going to get off to Tommy White, and that ball is going to be thrown way over the net. Clock is stopped at 10.3 seconds. That is DePaul's 22nd shot attempt of the game. Clock is running at 5 seconds. There's a shot put up by Andrew King, and that's going to be saved as the time is going to expire with DePaul's 23rd shot attempt at the end of the third quarter. The score is DePaul 4, Deerfield 2, as we're back after the third quarter break. As here we are for the fourth quarter play, DePaul 4, Deerfield 2. I'm Dylan Traeger, your IHSA Deerfield High School play-by-play broadcaster. 11:44 on the clock in the fourth quarter of play. Taking a look at some of the highlights for today for DePaul. The goals come from 2 from Ian Ellis, 1 from Hunter Jane, and 1 from Matthew Lazari from Deerfield. We've got 1 from Brandon Barber and 1 from Sam Shapiro. As there is a flag on the play. Time of the flags, 11:24. It's going to be DePaul retaining possession. Foul goes on Deerfield Sam Guthman as he's going to serve a 1-minute penalty. He'll be released at 10:24 on the clock, and that is Guthman's second foul of the game. While Guthman is a spectacular player for Deerfield on defense, he does get a lot of penalties as he does come off a little bit too aggressive sometimes. Definitely see that happening quite often, as it just did right now. And, you know, looking ahead as here's the clock running, Deerfield definitely needs to be putting out more shot attempts than DePaul here if they want to put this game back into reach. I think a 2-point game is definitely very reachable. It's more of a matter of them putting up some shot attempts more than what they are used to. They only have 5 shots on goal officially according to the scoreboard compared to DePaul's 12. And while 2 goals on 5 shots is pretty good, you definitely got to be putting up more than 5 shots in a IHSA playoff game. As here we're at the 11-minute mark. It's DePaul with the ball, and there's a shot, and that is good from DePaul's Johnny Aronson. Time of goal is 10:50 as Johnny Aronson scores his first goal of the game, extending DePaul's lead to 5-2. 3-point lead. And it looks like Sam Guthman's penalty will be released right now, as here he is coming back into the game. As it's DePaul with the ball, and they're going to turn it over to Deerfield. For Deerfield, it's Trevor Gross with 10:30 on the clock. There is a shot on goal from Deerfield, and that's going to be stopped from DePaul. Deerfield's 12th shot attempt of the game. That's going to count as a shot on goal. 10:20 on the clock. For DePaul, it's Dane Barkley with the ball. And Dane Barkley is just a huge athlete. Looking at him next to some of these other players, by the looks of it, I got to guess he's at least, 6'4", 6'6". Big athlete. 10 minutes on the clock in the fourth quarter here. It is DePaul with possession. They're going to put up a shot on goal, and that's going to roll out of bounds. That's going to be DePaul's 24th shot attempt of the game, as we are at the 10-minute mark once again. DePaul with the lead at 5-2 over Deerfield. Running clock, and it is DePaul with possession of the ball here. For DePaul, it's Connor Bearfield, as it is pretty much close to pitch black here at Deerfield High School's Paul Adam Field. This Deerfield team is head coached by Robert Allen and assistant coached by Michael Sansonetti. They also get some help from some former Deerfield varsity lacrosse athletes, some of which play collegiately. As we're at the 9:15 mark in the fourth quarter here, it is still DePaul with possession. For DePaul, Connor Bearfield still the ball carrier. Bearfield puts up a bad shot attempt, and that's going to roll out. That's DePaul's 25th shot attempt of the game. Deerfield still has one timeout left, while DePaul has two. Clock is stopped at 9:03. And clock will start running now if that referee whistle blow. As that ball is thrown right over Deerfield's head from Deerfield. DePaul's going to take over possession. For DePaul, it's Dane Barkley with the ball, as he just powers right through opponents. He's going to lose the ball, and DePaul is going to stay with it. 8:40 on the clock for DePaul. It's Matthew Lazari with possession. Lazari giving off to Hunter Jane. Here's Hunter Jane with the ball, and he's going to fall on the ground as that ball is going to roll out of bounds. And correction, not Hunter Jane. That's Johnny Aronson on the ground, and it looks like he might be hurt. He has not gotten up yet. Clock is stopped at 8:30. As Johnny Aronson's down with an injury, we are going to go to break. DePaul 5, Deerfield 2, 8:30 on the clock. As we are back from the injury break, current score, Deerfield 2 on DePaul's 5. We are just under the 8-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. The final As we are back from timeout break, DePaul 6, Deerfield 2. 5:55 on the clock. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Dylan Traeger. As DePaul has the ball, and there's an injury for DePaul. It's Dan Trey rolling around the sidelines, and this does not look good. Clock is still going to roll. And they're going to stop the clock, and here's the trainer. Clock stopped at 5:39. We'll be back after the injury break. As we are back from Deerfield High School after that quick injury break. Sorry for the technical difficulty. Current scoring update, DePaul 6 on Deerfield's 2, as there is another DePaul goal, and looks like that's going to pretty much seal it up. That ball is scored by DePaul's number 4, Andrew King. That's going to go on his second goal of the game. As DePaul extends their lead to 7-2, time of goal, 4:22. As here is the face-off. It's going to be Deerfield being victorious on the face-off. 4:15 to go as DePaul is up 7-2 in the final few minutes of play. Here's Brandon Barber for Deerfield losing the ball. It's DePaul trying to take it away. Deerfield being aggressive on this one. And there's a big pile up of boys right there. And it's going to end with DePaul's Liam Scanlon laying on the turf. 3:50 to go in the fourth quarter of play as DePaul is up 5 with a score of 7-2. It's DePaul with possession right now. For DePaul, it's Andrew King. As Andrew King is going to throw it over to Hunter Jane. Hunter Jane over to John Ingracia. Here's Hunter Graham with the ball, and that ball is going to be deflected off of the goalie, Ethan Levine, as there is a whistle blown. Clock is stopping at 3:15, and it looks like Deerfield's going to have possession, and clock will start running now. 3:10 to go in the fourth quarter of play as it's Deerfield possession. Here's Ben Spritz with the ball for Deerfield. As Ben Spritz is going to turn it over on his pass. DePaul taking over possession. 2:50 on the clock for DePaul. It's Grant Johnson. As it looks like some of the backup players are coming in for DePaul. For Deerfield, I see Sam Cohen checking out of the game. And coming in for Sam Cohen is single zero Dylan Gervitz, not to be confused with double zero Eli Newman. As here's 2:30 on the clock, as there is a flag thrown, and that flag was thrown just as high as the press box. The clock is going to stop at 2:27 with DePaul up 7-2. And that penalty is going to be on DePaul's number 11, Liam Scanlon, for delay of game. He will be checked into the penalty box for 30 seconds. His release will be at 1:57. 2:15 on the clock as it's Deerfield possession. For Deerfield's Charlie Moros, giving it up to Chase Ponticas. There's a shot on goal from Deerfield, and that's go down as a shot attempt. Ball is shot by Deerfield attack senior cap Zach Margulis. That's going to be Deerfield's 13th shot attempt. Scanlon is released from his penalty for DePaul as we're at the 2-minute warning now at 1:50 in the fourth quarter of play. It's Deerfield with the ball for Deerfield. Ben Spritz, as he's going to give it to Charlie Moros. Here's Charlie Moros being double-teamed. He's going to give it to Ben Spritz. Ben Spritz with the ball being double-teamed once again, and then he's going to turn it over. DePaul is going to take over possession. For DePaul, it's Dan Trey. As there's a shot attempt, and that shot is in for DePaul. Time of goal is 1:25. And that ball is scored by number 30, Joe Norton, the sophomore attack. Once again, time of goal is 1:25, as DePaul is now ending their lead, or extending their lead to 8-2. And that pretty much seals up the game for DePaul College Prep with a victory in the quarterfinals of the IHSA Varsity Lacrosse Playoffs. And I believe that will put an end to Deerfield's season. As there's the face-off, Deerfield is going to try and win it off. .115 on the clock here as DePaul's up 8-2. Running clock, it's Deerfield with the ball. For Deerfield, it's Logan Flater with the ball, as they're going to turn that over, and DePaul is going to take over possession at 1 minute. So taking a look at the stats and the numbers, DePaul taking the victory is going to improve to 11-7 overall. Deerfield will fall to 10-9 on the season, and I believe that will be a wrap for Deerfield's season on that note. Flag on the play, 48.5 seconds to go in the game. for Deerfield. Coming out of the game is William Holtz. And that's going to be unnecessary roughness on William Holtz for 1 minute. And that's going to keep him out of the game for the remaining of the game, as there's only 48.5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter of play.
We'll release it overtime.
And they are going to keep a clock up there. His release will occur if the game goes into overtime, if necessary. As there's Deerfield taking over possession, it's Ethan Levine scooping the ball up, and they're going to stop the clock at 41.1 seconds. I'm unsure as to why, and there's the flag thrown. Penalty is down. And I'm not sure exactly as what it was for. Two of Deerfield's players are going to check out. For Deerfield, it's 18, Sam Guffman on the penalty. 1 minute penalty. He will be released in overtime if necessary. That is his third penalty of the game, as he is really racking up those penalties. As there is a DePaul goal, time of goal is 31 seconds. That's just going to put the icing on the cake for the Rams. DePaul is going to extend their lead to 9-2, and the scorer for DePaul is James Kaminsky, number 13. That's going to be James's first goal of the game. Time of the goal is 31 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of play. As that's DePaul putting the insurance and the icing on the cake, sealing the deal. 9-2. As here is the face-off. It's not going to be William Holtz for Deerfield as he's in the penalty box. Correction, it will be William Holtz. Somehow he got released. And I'm actually surprised there wasn't a penalty there for DePaul. I think there it is. There's the penalty for DePaul's Chris Cannon, as he just completely went off on William Holtz. As they're just going to run the clock, and that's going to be it. There's DePaul charging the field and picking up their goalie. Sticks are in the air. And that's a wrap from Deerfield High School at Adams Field, as DePaul will advance to the sectional semifinal with a victory of 9-2 over Deerfield. Once again, that's DePaul beating Deerfield 9-2. With DePaul advancing to the sectional semifinal, them being the 9th seed, will play at Loyola, the 1 seed, Monday, May 22nd at 5 p.m. Once more, DePaul, the 9th seed, will play Loyola, the 1 seed, Monday, May 22nd at 5 p.m. at Loyola. Taking a look at the game for the winning side for DePaul, they used 3 timeouts today. Their goals, 2 from Ian Ellis, 1 from Hunter Jane, 1 from Matthew Lazari, 1 from Johnny Aronson, 2 goals, Andrew King, 1 goal from Joe Norton, and 1 goal from James Kaminsky. DePaul, 9 goals on 18 shots on goal, and I recorded 27 shot attempts. Taking a look at the Deerfield side, they had a goal from Brandon Barber and a goal from Sam Shapiro. They had 6 shots on goal, 2 goals on 6 shots on goal, and I recorded 13 shot attempts, as that's going to be it from Deerfield High School. And that's it for Deerfield's seniors. I will give a little tribute to those seniors for Deerfield, shining in their last game as a Deerfield Warrior lacrosse player. We give a big commemoration to Deerfield Attack Senior number 0, Dylan Gurovitz. Deerfield Attack Senior number 1, Lucas Goldenberg. Deerfield Captain Mid-Senior number 2, Daniel Simmons. Deerfield Mid-Senior Face-Off Specialist number 4, William Holtz. Deerfield defense, number 7, Dylan Katz. Senior mid and attack, number 8, Brandon Barber. Defense, number 18, Sam Guthman. Senior attack, number 19, Sam Margulis. Defense, number 21, Chase Rosenblum. Senior mid, number 22, Noah Lossoff. Senior captain, defense, number 24, Logan Flater. Senior mid, number 35, Jake Lampert West. And last but not least, senior attack and mid, number 80, Joey Klebard. That's it for Deerfield season. And once again, that's a wrap from Deerfield High School at Adamsfield. DePaul is victorious in this one by a score of 9-2. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Dylan Traeger, signing off for Varsity Boys Lacrosse one last time this season.